Hi, welcome to Old Market Coffee. Today, I'm going to take you through what it looks like to make a crepe and just show you around our space a little bit. Here at Old Market Coffee, we serve specialty coffee, a selection of loose leaf tea, smoothies, some baked goods, and our signature food item, crepes. And today, I'm going to show you a little bit about how we make those crepes, what goes into that, and how we came up with them. Doing crepes was a bit of a risk because on one hand, there not being crepe shops in town here was a good opportunity because there was no competition for it. But on the other hand, it was unproven. We didn't know, were people going to come back day after day, week after week, and eat crepes? We're located in upstate New York, about 6 hours from New York City, just so that's clear, about 2 hours from Vermont, and about a half hour to Canada. We are in a college town, which is definitely a large part of who our customer base is. There's 2 colleges right locally here. Crepes were first had in Brittany, France. And so the legend goes, there was a peasant who was cooking and spilled a little bit of porridge onto a hot griddle. It spread out nice and thin. They didn't want to waste it, so they tried it. Thence the crepe. Legend has it. Anyhow, crepes were often made with buckwheat flour, which is a little bit different. We're making just with a regular wheat flour. My co-owner Josh was traveling in Paris. He would have had crepes there. We would have had crepes personally a little bit, and then also we're about 2 hours from Montreal in Canada, and they're very French there. We would have had crepes up there. You might be wondering, why did you choose crepes? And that's a good question. Partly, we wanted something that was unique to us and unique to our community, something that was different and new, something that would fit well in our space, work well in our compact setup. That was very key. A couple of our most popular crepes are the bacon avocado. It's bacon, Swiss cheese, topped with avocado, a red raspberry mousse, which has a raspberry mousse filling, fresh raspberries, and topped with whipped cream. And then we have what we call our build your own crepes. You can select whatever fillings and toppings you like and really make it your own, which is definitely our most popular overall category. One of the concerns we had with bringing something new to the community like crepes was we didn't know, would people like them or not? Would they come back week after week and get crepes? Turns out they do. Crepes have been a big hit in this community. All right, let's make some crepes. So here's our setup. We have 3 crepe makers. We actually started off with just one in the beginning, soon added another one, and then this last summer added our 3rd one, which has been really great. On the front here is our cold refrigerated area. We keep some cheeses, some meats, things like that up here. We can easily grab it right out of here and drop it directly onto the crepe. Over here then is our other prep area. In the bottom here, we store some extra prepped cheeses and that type of thing. We store our crepe batter down here in the bottom, and in the top, we have some more cold storage area. We have our strawberries, some raspberries, our couple fillings, whipped cream, stuff like that up here. I'm gonna grab my oil applicator, just put a little oil right onto this, pour a portion of crepe batter on, grab the little spreader, and spin that around, spreading it out nice and even, getting it nice and close to the edge without running over the edge, because as you noticed, there is no sides on this keeping it from running off. Believe me, I found out. It'll take maybe 30 seconds or a minute to cook this, and then we'll be ready to flip it. Well, one thing we're learning is that a great seasoning on the crepe makers is so important. We've struggled with this a bit. It's been tricky, and from what I'm learning in the industry, it's kind of a given thing that crepe makers are finicky to deal with on the seasoning. When the crepe makers come, they're just a clean piece of metal, and you have to actually burn layers of oil onto that to make the seasoning. Without a good seasoning, the crepe will stick, and when you try to flip it, you'll tear your crepe and often kind of ruin it. After this one's set there for just a little bit, I'm gonna flip it over, fold it right in half, like a half circle here, and it already has a nice little bit of browning on it, which is excellent. So if it's a hot crepe, we're gonna grab our meat, our cheeses, whatever that is, put it right on here, let it start melting, let it warm up if it needs to anymore, and then take this, put it right onto the plate. If this is a sweet crepe, meaning that we're not going to finish it on here, we're actually going to let it finish browning on this side, and then move it over to our other prep bar, and then go ahead and put the Nutella, the strawberries, whatever that is, to finish that crepe. And there you have it. That's a crepe. A couple things to keep in mind when frying a crepe. You want to spread it nice and even across the whole thing. Thin spots will result in it drying out more quickly and getting crispy, which is not nice for the consistency of the crepe. Also, all you're looking for in that first fry when you pour it down is just a nice browning over the whole crepe. You don't want to dry it out. So just nice browning. Go ahead and flip it, let that brown a little bit, fold it in half. Here's how to make the crepe batter. We use a scales that works really well. First off, our flour. We do 600 grams of flour, 20 grams of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and grab a whisk. And that's it for the dry ingredients: flour, sugar, salt. All right, so we have 1 stick of butter softened in the microwave, 1 dozen eggs cracked in a separate bowl. And go ahead and whisk up the eggs. Next is 48 ounces of milk. Whisk that up a little bit. And add half of the liquid mixture to the dry ingredients. Stir this up really well. Now that that's nice and whisked up, we're going to go ahead and add the butter next. Integrate the butter nicely into the mixture. And then finally, add the remainder of the liquid ingredients. All that's left is cleanup. Really, crepes are pretty simple. It's a fairly simple batter. It's a simple process of frying the crepe, and then you can really put almost any type of filling in it, whether it's for breakfast, something for lunch, sweet, savory, all that kind of thing allows us to really experiment, get creative with seasonal options. It's also worked really well in our small kitchen area. It's a fairly straightforward. We have the batter, you pour it on, you fry it, and you fill it, and you serve it. But when done really well, create a very beautiful and delicious dish. When it's fried well, not too crispy, keeping that nice soft texture, we've learned and improved and dialed in our process to really make a streamlined, efficient process so that we can serve our customers really quickly and very consistently. Consistency with these crepes is very key. The crepe is very thin, it's fairly delicate, and if it's over fried, or maybe if you even put too much filling in the crepe, it's just not as great of an experience. So it's so important to fry it well, not too crispy, of course not underdone either, have the right proportion of ingredients inside, and ingredients that fit really well, that pair well with each other, that are good combinations for the texture and delicateness of a crepe. All right, I think that does it on crepes. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, happy to talk to you more about it, but that's basically where it's at. I hope you enjoy, and we'd love to serve you here sometime. So you're welcome to Old Market Coffee anytime you're in upstate New York.